Hello, everyone. Instagram is letting you know that I'm going live now. And I also, where am I right now? Yes, I'm live streaming from YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So if you guys are joining me from Facebook or LinkedIn, I cannot see your comments because at the moment I'm only on Instagram and YouTube. So you guys from LinkedIn and Facebook, you can switch and come on either on Instagram or from YouTube. Namaste. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. I'm doing another join live with my dear friend. You all know Wen Trido, our monk friend. And today, the topic would be how to get out of an abusive relationship, how to end it, and you guys are going to receive a lot of tips and tools. Wi-Fi, I don't need that. Okay. Um, and also, what else? You're going to get some tips and tools on how to really go through the recovery, healing, and the whole great stuff. So tell me, guys, where are you joining me from? Where are you guys joining me from? Yes. Hello, Stefan. Nice to have you. Hi, Masood. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. While my guest is showing up, tell me, Stefan and Mahmoud, um, what is your input about relationship? Are you guys in a relationship or not? Have you ever been in an abusive relationship? There is Wen. Hello, Wen. Let me see. Yes, Wen is right on time today. So let me know. I don't want to share password right now. No. Namaste, Wen. How are you?
Hi, Trudy. How are you?
I am great, magnificent. What's happening up there?
Oh, just busy writing my book. It's just nonstop. All these things. So very busy. And these talks are becoming a rare thing for me now.
Aha, yes. So, you know that I don't know if everyone has seen our previous live. We talked about Johnny Depp and Amber.
Mm.
Are you guys following that? Because Wayne and I are definitely not, but I'm receiving some little short reviews or videos from my assistant to see what's going on, and we're following it. So we're going to do another study on how do we know, first of all, that we are in an abusive relationship? Have we had an experience being with a narcissist? Secondly, if I have this experience, I am in a relationship that I'm being abused mentally, emotionally, and physically. How do I find the courage to say no more abuse anywhere but here, even if that requires for me to sleep on a friend's couch for a while or to be on the street putting on a tent or whatever, but I'm not staying in an abusive relationship anymore. And at the end, we're going to wrap it up by giving you guys some tools on how to heal and recover the heartbreak after the relationship. So, Would you like to do to start, or do you want me to start? Hi everyone.
Start?
Where do we start? Okay, we're starting by number one. What does it take for me to really understand that I am in an abusive relationship? I mean, sometimes we don't want to stereocast, but I'm a Taurian, right? And Taurians are known for their patience. So one of the way that Taurians deal with outer reality is through a rose glasses. So when our partner is doing something or is doing one wrong thing after another, we are very good at minimizing their error. So it's like, oh no, he probably had a bad day. I have a lot of explanations why somebody is misbehaving, right? So what I'm saying is, if you are naive, like I am, I guess, how would you deal with this shit? Like, would you wake up and say enough is enough?
I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We do that. First and foremost, looking at our needs, our physical needs, and the needs as described in Maslow hierarchy of needs, is that all of your basic needs to be met.
Mhm.
If your basic needs are not met, you will look for it elsewhere. You will look for it in an abusive relationship or a relationship that could turn abusive. And you will just leech and latch on, and you will make all sorts of excuses for yourself that you're going to maintain this relationship even though it's abusive, because however you want to justify it.
Mhm.
With yourself and within other people who are giving you red flags, yellow flags, orange flags. So again,
Did you miss the purple one? Because that's my favorite.
Yeah, purple usually means you're probably dead. Yeah. At hospice, we call that the purple team. When the purple team calls you, that means someone is at risk of imminent death. So, I have done this for so long that I've come to realize that people will get out of it when they have suffered enough. So the question becomes, from a Buddhist standpoint, is, have you suffered enough? You see, the smarter you are, the more you tend to get yourself into trouble.
Yeah.
And the smarter you are, you tend to also make all sorts of excuses to maintain, such longevity of abuse, the potential and likely chance of abuse, and so on. I mean, there's sometimes you and I have seen cases where we're like, hello? Do you like being abused or what? Because we're giving you so much insights. People in your life have given you so much insights, and yet you stick around with this guy. You still stick around with this idiot. And it can be male or female, not necessarily the sex and gender of being male, but both equal genders can be abusive to each other. Both equal genders can be toxic to each other. Mm-hmm. And so it's actually, these things are actually not complicated. It is you and your mind that is making it complicated. It actually makes it into a impossibly complicated problem, to the point where a bunch of therapists kind of like scratch their head and they're like, wow, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Why would you do this to yourself? Right? Again, people get really comfortable in relationships when the other person can satisfy certain needs and desires and wants. So therefore, they just kind of stick it like, oh yeah, it's not that bad after all. He beats me once in a while, but he pays my bills. Right. Until one day, the way how he hits you is going to be a little harder, and then you're not going to have any one beautiful teeth left. Right. And then one day he's going to snap. So the Buddha taught us that there are dangers in the smallest mistakes. And you have to know how to discern. That is a word here to reflect on. Discerning, right? Discerning, trying to evaluate and trying to assess and make your decisions quickly. If they are a fool, get out. If they think foolishly, get out. If they do foolish things, gotta go. You know, I guess it's different for someone like me and someone like you. You know, we can see this fairly unfold quite quickly, see it unfolding, and you know, it's like, how many chances are you going to give them? Like, and what are the potential and likely chances that they're going to change? And the more chances that you give them, the more chances you give them, the more they just tend to stick around, and they're like, actually, they become more convinced. What you're doing is conditioning them that, oh yeah, she's not going to leave me. He's not going to leave me. You know, and giving me this much chances, he's not going to leave. She's not going to leave. So we're just going to just let it slide, and you know, the old ways and the old days and the habits, this vicious, perpetual cycle of toxicity, perpetual vicious cycle of violence, and just BS, constant BS.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
before we go on, Sahar wrote a comment that we think you have some extra sound. Is your sound okay? Are you on one platform or because I think they're getting no, just one. Okay.
It's the same. Whatever sound she's hearing is on her end, because the way how me and you've been doing this has always been the same way. So.
Mm-hmm. Anthony said codependency plays a huge role. Absolutely, Anthony. You are right. That's one part of it. But this is what I want to ask you guys. You know, when we look, if I ask you, like, who is your business role model? You probably going to give me at least 10. It's very easy for us to kind of know who are on top, successful business owners or whatever, successful business owners. But when it comes to relationship, I was thinking about that last week. I was thinking, who is my role model in relationship? And I couldn't even find one person. So this is the question. Could this also be an issue? Because when we look around us between our friends and families and society and blah, 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 um, how many role models do we see that I say they have the perfect marriage, and I can at least go to them and say, what makes your marriage, your friendships, or whatever successful? So I think this is one issue. Codependency is one. And then Iris is saying how get rid of feeling small around narcissist person. Very good question, honey. We get into that too. Okay. So I think one step will be that we have to really start looking what are the requirements for a balanced, healthy, nourishing relationship. What are those? Do we even know? You know, because we come to a point that right now we all taking the whole blame that if the relationship doesn't go well, is like, oh, probably I didn't do soul searching, probably I didn't give myself enough time to heal from previous wounds and relationships. And this is becoming to, in a way, like a cliche that we all have to take years of solitude and really do a lot of soul searching. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I in my single life to be healed and become a whole complete package, and then I can enter a relationship. And I don't agree with that. I think it's in the relationship that we learn to know ourselves. It's in the relationship that I can see my wounds, my triggers, and all this stuff. It's in the relationship that I'm going to learn to love and nourish myself, because I've been there, I've done that. For 20 some years, I have been single. And I was like, okay, I'm doing soul searching, I'm working on myself, and I'm doing da. As soon as I enter a relationship, it's like, I got an aha moment. Oh, just because I have done a lot of work on myself, that doesn't mean that the other person has done the same. And they're willing to be vulnerable, to, you know, work on the hiccups of the relationship and blah, blah, blah. So basically, this is something that I wanted to bring out to think about it, guys, and tell me what do you think? Um, do you think we should just go sit back? Um,
So I wanted to address the codependency because that's a big deal. That's a big issue. All the relationship talks that I have given, I've never actually sat here and used the word codependency. So all of you all can look forward to a bunch of more TikTok videos on that. So first, let's define codependency and what Google has to say about it. Codependency is a circular relationship in which one person needs the other, who in turn needs to be needed. Needs to be needed. I need you to need me, so I feel self-worth. Okay. The codependent person, known as the giver, feels worthless unless they are needed by and making sacrifices for the enabler, otherwise known as the taker.
mm-hmm.
So you got, again, a person leeching off the other person. The other person is using the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually overlooked this and the many thousands of comments when it came to codependency. And in Buddhism, this is where, what that definition just said is easy. When we even though it's toxic, even though it drains your bank account, even though it's draining physically, emotionally, physically, it's easy. It's the easy way to deal with this, right? Which is to keep on enabling them. And the person who takes, just keep on taking. This is something that my dad described as a basket with no bottom. It's just it's just a perpetual cycle, which is exactly what the definition is. So you want to look, again, tracing the root cause of why do I feel worthless? What is this about my self-esteem? What is this about my self-concept? What is this about my self-image? If you trace the root cause of the problem, and if you're willing to do the homework on yourself, then people will stop taking advantage of you. I mean, when is enough is enough? When you file for bankruptcy? When you sell your house? And is it going to guarantee long-lasting, stable happiness, long-lasting, stable, the stability and security of such relationships? So again, I think, this alone right here, and then get into the details, is going to be probably another worthwhile talk with Miss Sudi Burnett about.
Okay, so when I'm in let's take the codependency issue. Let's suppose that right now I am aware that I have codependency tendency towards my partner or towards someone else. But how do I deal with that? Because you guys know that what we're dealing with right now here is not the root cause. Do we go back in our childhood, in the first 7 years of our childhood, and see how and where did we get wounded? How and where? I usually said normally codependency is not the first thing. First is the feeling of abandonment. Once I have experienced abandonment issue, that would lead into codependency. So if I don't even know where and how it has started, and what's before this codependency, then I might be going and spending years to work on codependency. But then again, I'm not aware that it's the abandonment issue. How could I no longer abandon myself? How could I start today to love myself like I have never done before, to accept myself and start becoming a parent to the child, and I start giving as much attention and love and care and nourishing to the child. So we have to be also very mindful that why are we suffering? What is really the cause of our suffering? So like when Thrice said earlier, there are many components even into codependency issues, because codependency is not just one line, it's not just one energy, because there are so many layers, like abandonment issue, not being seen, not being heard, um all those acts of lack of self-love, unworthiness, not being enough. These are all in this ball mix energy of codependency. So if you and I want to we realize, one, that I am codependent, how do I get out of it? Then we have to go to the root. How can I start caring and loving myself? Back to you, Mr. Win Try.
um, it's painful when we try new stuff. It's painful and it's uncomfortable. When listen, can you get all these pieces and attach it so it looks like that for me? All these right here. Take care of it. This is how busy my life is. You see me looking all over the place like I'm at Disney World.
You shouldn't be exposing that now. Like everybody's going to say, is that how monks live their lives?
Well, it is how this monk is living his life right now, because I'm writing this book and everything is crazy. We got these mass shootings going on. I still haven't talked about that. So my editor's on me. About the self-worth thing. It's a really deep bound subject.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that people really don't want to look at straight, like dead on, straight and dead on to the true nature of it and investigate it. Is because, again, I'm telling you, it's again, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? The skeletons in our closets, our motives, our needs, wants, our deficits, our insufficiencies. And again, when your cup is full and it spills over, that's when typically love flourishes, because you have so much love to give. I mean, and you are secure and confident about who you are, where you've been, where you are today, where you're going, who you want to go with, etc. and etc. We're talking about relationships, so I like to self-disclose about some things that have happened actually over the past 5 days. I swear, someone needs to follow me and make a movie, because you can't make this stuff up with how my weeks go. But two of my exes in Vietnam reached out. So they don't even know each other. They don't even live in the same city. They live actually very far away. And they were like, when are you coming back to Vietnam? And I'm like, well, you just came out of nowhere. Last time we spoke was like 7 months ago.
I'm sorry, before you go on, did you say two of my exes? Is that what you... Okay. Uh-huh. Go
So
on.
these exes that I knew and I dated before becoming a monk, like way back, like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 7 years. So, and I was just very surprised that they waited that long, because I told them, I'm like, listen, I live in the United States. You guys are in Vietnam. We had our fun. You know, you have stuff you have to do. I got stuff I got to do. So, you know, if we cross paths again, then we will cross paths again. And so they reached out, and they were wondering when I'm coming back. One of them even told me, you know, you can come back here and just retire. I got it for you. And I was like, what? She's an assistant director for a place where they teach private English. You could just have a seat. And I was just like, really? You're offering me to come back there and live with you and retire, and technically you're going to take care of everything. Things in Vietnam are cheap. So anyone who wants to retire in Vietnam is really, you only need like $400 a month to retire.
I should do that. And move to Vietnam. Yeah.
Me you're going to retire very soon, Miss Sudi.
Yes. Not you. Hello. Okay. Did you ask your ex, why would I want to retire before I'm even 30?
Well, they're still very young. They're like in their late 20s. I'm 34 and they're like 27.
So you're already too old. I get it. Okay.
I'm spiritually old. I mean, physically I'm not. Mentally old, psychologically old, spiritually old. And I know why they came back after 6 years. It surprises me how long people wait, especially this type of cohorts and cross-sectional studies of why they wait for so long. It's because, I hope to inspire all of you buying through my own change and buying through how I homework on myself. Is that I had to learn to not be codependent. I had to learn all of these things that we're talking about here. I had to go through the painful and necessary process to be secure and confident in myself. And it is exactly that they saw was stability, confidence, and all these things that you look for in a man. And they knew that, I'm not trying to leech and latch on to anybody. We had our fun. We departed very beautifully. There's a way to, depart where both people know where they're at in life, where they stand, where they're going. And when the time is right, and if the causes and conditions are correct, then the flower will bloom again, simply put. And so now had I fall into this dependency thing and the self-worth and the self-concept and the self-esteem, I would, if there's a quote that I read, and it basically says that, when a man's needs is not fulfilled, and you can interchange man for woman, when a man's need is not fulfilled, he will jump out at any hope. I think this was Maslow said that. And you will jump out at any hope, bearing, just full blown, dropping everything. And you see that. Let me see if I have that quote saved here, because I'm not doing justice with this quote at all. If a man, I don't have it here on my notes in my phone, I'll find it. It's so profound. When you don't do your homework, again, we see people drop everything, travel across the country in hope that they think this is going to be a long-lasting, stable relationship. And that trip just costed you like $10,000. We've seen it. Jumping at any hope they think would be promising, because they still don't know who they are. That's the problem. The problem is they've never taken the time to do their homework. And it's easier. I mean, if someone just have $10,000 laying around somewhere, just like, oh yeah, you know what? She looks cute, fine. Great personality, and everything I know about her zodiac sign. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop 10 grand and go over there and see how well this is gonna work out. If I lose 10 grand, it's okay too. People would rather do that than just sit and use free information that we're giving you to do your homework, to meditate in silence, to trace the root cause, You can do all of this in less than 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You do the homework right in less than months, or maybe up to a year. Some people may need up to a year, and you can save your money. You can save a bunch of money on your car insurance by switching to spirituality. Simply put, you know, I mean, so I'm just trying to paint this picture that you're gonna have more roses and less thorns if you just be brave enough, be correct, step towards knowing yourself. That's simple, but I know it's not easy. But if you just trust us, trust the teachers, trust the process, and step forward in learning about yourself, come to terms with it, the quality of your life would be so much better. And just remember, the consequence here is that if you love the wrong person, wrong place, wrong time, wrong person, wrong reason, it can ruin your whole life, which is exactly what Sudi posted about the what's his name? The Pirates of the Caribbean guy. What's his name?
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Again, you know, the $50 million lawsuit. Oh my God. I mean, $1 million alone is like, oh my God. Nonetheless, 50, I can't fathom that number in my head over loving the potential and likely chance of loving the wrong person, and how toxic it's, again, a vicious cycle. So just reflect on that. If you don't believe what I'm saying, your job is to go to your local family court and sit there for a week and listen to all these divorces that go through family court.
But I have a question for you. Is there such a thing as a wrong person? Can I collaborate more on that? Why am I questioning this? Because the way I look at life and all the characters that are playing in this movie, since I really believe in an intelligent universe, I know that everything is happening at the right time for us to learn our lessons that has to be learned. So for Iris, you said that how do we not feeling small around the narcissist person? See, if we ask the wrong question, we're never going to come up with the right answer, right? So what would be the right question? Where do I see myself small? What is this narcissist as a projection of the universe, as mirror, is reflecting back to me? What is the lesson? And once you sit in your silence and you're realizing that it's not about the characters who are playing in my movie, is always about me, then I get this aha moment. Oh my God, I'm playing it so small. Why am I playing it so small? Why am I afraid to be who I truly am? Why am I afraid to shine my lights, right? So it's not about someone out there, he or she is a narcissist. It's not about the characters who are playing this role as a character, which I often say, each character who plays a different role in our lives is the divine itself playing that role. So can you please stay with me, everybody? Just try to comprehend this and repeat this to yourself. Every character out there, good or bad, angel or devil, behind it is the divinity playing this role, how would you feel right now towards the character? If you know that divinity is playing itself out and is playing many, 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 many roles, how would you feel? So if you look at it this way, Iris, the character in my life right now who's playing this narcissist is the divine. The divine is showing me that I don't feel one with the wholeness, with divinity. Therefore, the minute we separate from divinity, from divine, from the whole universe, we get triggered or captured by the ego mind. And then we believe that people are vicious and they playing all these nasty roles, and then we think we have to deal with them. No, we don't have to deal with them. It's for you to come to yourself and say, where did I get separated from the whole? How can I get back to it to become one with the universe, to feel whole and gain my power? If you become one with the divine, you're automatically huge, you're automatically whole, you're automatically light and love, right? Did I answer you, Iris? Did this respond help you with the way you want to deal with the narcissists out there? Was I clear enough? Write a comment, yes or no. Because, like I said, we have to know every single person entered our lives with previous soul contract. Don't ever doubt. If you're feeling miserable right now, if you're feeling sad, if you feel like your life is one misery after another, one block after another, come back to yourself. Know that there has been a soul contract and it has been chosen by your soul. So I always say, come back to your energy field. How pure or poisonous your energy field is. Your outcome, what you see out there as your reality, is only a reminder. Look at yourself, look at your energy field. Is it clean or clear? If it's poisonous, one bad thing after another, don't blame it on the universe. Take responsibility. What does it mean? I am the creator of my reality. What does this mean? Everything that's been created out there has been created by you. Your thoughts on that? Coming back to you.
Thank you, Sudi.
You're welcome.
Sudi is so nice when she explains things. I mean, I've been always known to be straightforward on these things. I don't know. With the extensive life experience, let me use the language of the people. I'll be damned if somebody makes me feel worthless. I'll be damned if somebody makes me feel small and tiny. So, life's too short to deal with some of these things. The emotional impact can last for so long. Life's too short. When it's unfortunate, yes, that we have people who have been diagnosed with narcissism. And we really need to get to the bottom line of the extent and depth and magnitude of their illness, and to see if it's, if this is something that we want to stick around for a very long time while they're dealing with themselves. It is my position in a relationship is that you want to try to identify like what's going on here, and if there's a problem, we should try to move forward in addressing this problem quickly so that the relationship becomes happy and healthy, turning the wheel. And there's a skillful way to speak to your partner about, I love you, I really like for you to really address this. We have to be really skillful to try to communicate with them in a non-judgmental way.
Mm-hmm.
But, through whatever time determined by you, that the person is not heeding your advice, recommendation, and guidance, and they're not going to couples therapy, it's probably time to go. No one's really got time for that. And then they're constantly, trying you every day, belittling you, using you. And again, some of these impact can last years, and it really gives you PTSD. You got to look at the consequences of these things. Again, Sudi does a wonderful job at explaining in details about this. But I've come to a point in my life where, I love you, and listen, if this doesn't get resolved quite fairly quickly and you're not putting any effort into this relationship, then I don't think you're going to ever find anyone that's going to love you and accept you. And you're it's a different type of virus that people are constantly offending and using, and toxic and toxicity. And you know what I mean? It's just like, there's this person running around damaging people's hearts, breaking people's hearts in every way possible. It's terrible. So, it's just something that to reflect on. Everything that Sudi said is very profound, and it is something that to really sit there and reflect on and write it down and think about it on and if you're in this type of situation, think about it real hard and don't dismiss what we're trying to tell you. Heeding the advice of the wise will be one of the best things you do this year. A chance to change, and a chance to, start looking to the definition of happiness in these things. It's really serious. You study narcissism, it's a whole can of worms.
Yeah, I did a couple of lives, guys. Is on YouTube if you ever feel like looking at them. I did a live about codependency, and I also did a live about narcissists. And I said narcissists are always looking for a codependent as a victim. Narcissists are always looking for a codependent as their victim. So I had a huge talk about narcissists. Have you ever really deeply felt and heard the narcissist? To me, I really thought about this because I even did a live. Am I a narcissist? Is Sudi Burnett a narcissist? And it's not like, we're so easy at labeling people, and this narcissist is becoming again one of those words that we just throw away. If somebody is not acting or behaving the way we want, she or he is a narcissist. I think we should really deeply look at a narcissist. The way I was feeling the narcissist is that in their childhood, they have been really, really wounded. Majority of time, because I do loads of sessions with, as you know, any kind of type, the majority of time in my sessions with a narcissist, the first thing that I look at, how was your first 7 years? Did you grow up in a healthy, calm, nurturing environment? And I hardly ever seen anyone that we label as narcissists tell you, yes, as a matter of fact, I grew up in this really functional family. I was filled with love and joy. It almost never happened. So, a narcissist is someone who's coming from a background of years of abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's mental, emotional abuses, and they're wounded. So, when I'm wounded as a child, I start having a distrust towards others, and also in a bigger picture, the whole reality out there. And usually, because I have been so hurt and so fragile, and in most cases, never considered getting help from a psychologist, therapist, coach, or whatever, never gave myself enough time to heal. I mean, healing has so many layers and ways to go about it. Healing is not something maybe for somebody takes a year to heal, for someone else's 10 years. Some people, even in their 80s and 90s, they never healed. But maybe we're under assumption that we have been healed, but that's not the truth. So when I'm being really hurt and abused as a child, that and this word becomes vicious and I can't trust it, the way that I start behaving is what we call as the narcissistic behaviors. That's a mechanism for me not to let anyone else to hurt me. And oftentimes they might go overboard, but this is basically what it is. And I talked about that live. I said when I face someone who's a narcissist, the first thing I do, take the label away as much as I can. And I'm here for you. I hear you, I see you, I feel you. So, what do you think, guys? Write a comment for me. What do you guys think will happen if you are with a narcissist and you have worked on your codependency separately? What do you think a narcissist will do? Maybe the majority of you guys right away, you're going to say, oh, of course, he's going to become even a bigger narcissist. I'm not sure about that. Not for sure. We don't know that. But what do you think is in a psyche of a killer? What do you think is behind the psyche of a rapist? Is that who they want to be? When we check the background of every rapist, everyone who's I don't know, killer and that stuff, the first thing that is common in each one of them is sexual abuse from a close relative, whether it's the parents or caregiver or aunt or uncle or whatever. But their intention is never to kill or to rape. And I have done session with people like that, where when they feel safe for the first time, meeting somebody soul to soul, somebody really understand me without any judgment, then you hear totally a different story. But write the comments. What do you think, guys, happened? If you tell a narcissist, I love you, I'm here for you, I hear you, I see your wounds, what can I do? How can I help? What do you think will happen? Just tell me they're going to get better or worse. Write a comment, guys. Back to you.
You know, staying staying single, it could be a lot more people are trying to stay single nowadays. That's like
It's the fear of relationship. That's what I was said last week when I say to someone, I said, "What is your session about?" They're like, "Oh God, relationship, of course. Relationship equals oh God, the terror." Yes, so many of us. Maybe he's gonna get healed. Is that what you think, Zoya? Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's go back to the beginning of what Sudi said about how we label people and how we're so quick to put this label on people, and how we can operate through the informed lens of such labeling. Is that we first really have to know what label it is that we are using and what we are displaying and telling the other person or to ourselves. I mean, you have to really look at the elements of narcissism. You have to look at the elements of anger, narcissism, like what defines a rapist, and what, like all of these labels out there. You yourself have to be the foremost expert in it before you start calling people it. Mm-hmm. Okay, and again, there's the pathology behind it, and the classifications, and the DSM-5 and the ICD-10 definitions of it. It's complex, and again, we want to intelligently evaluate and assess. Right, the goal here is not to judge. We try our hardest not to judge, but to use our intelligence to assess and evaluate carefully, so that we can make an informed decision when it comes to these matters. You got to ask yourself: is it worth it? Is it worth the time, energy, effort? I mean, unless you're really bored and you just want to sit there and look at the ICD-10 book, it's like this thick, and the DSM-5 is about this thick, or sit there and watch YouTubes all day, every day, about this and that. It's something I want everyone to reflect on. Sudi, you have a mental health specialist therapist agreeing with you, and she actually put, yeah, I agree with her. Sudi's right. Completely. She says, I completely agree with her.
Well,
so, Sudi's done homework. Sudi has listened to hundreds and probably thousands of stories when it comes to these things. Sudi I would describe Sudi as the mother of relationships. I mean, if you need coaching, you need to sit down and listen and take notes. Keyword, take notes. And everything that Sudi's telling you all are like gold and platinum out of her mouth. It's very well weighted when it comes to the quality of your life.
Well, thank you, and I greatly appreciate you, and I greatly appreciate her. I think my ego is kind of ballooning me up right now. I'm going up. Yeah.
You're speaking facts about every teacher has a specialty when it comes to relationships, which is, so some people have more experience in depression, anxiety, PTSD, sex thoughts, and the whole list goes on, the subcategories and categories of the details into that relationships. Fortunately for me, I haven't been with anyone that is of that severity. I mean, I've been manipulated once, and that alone scared the crap out of me, is because humans are becoming more intelligent in different ways. Nothing that you guys think, meaning that people are really, intelligence can go both ways, right? Yeah. The computer, the phone that you're holding right now is a direct result of this thing right here that we humans applied and created, and why we have technologies. But at the same time, this can be a double-edged sword where we can really use our intelligence to really manipulate and try to get what we want. We will look for that weakness in the other human and take advantage of them financially, sexually, just the motivation and intentions behind our brain, our mind. So, again, I think if we were to summarize this type of talk, the first thing is to look at morality and ethics in the person before you proceed on with the relationships. I agree, concur that the threefold training in Buddhism sets the guideline and methodology that first and foremost you must have sila, and sila just means morality, and sila also means the gift of safety. Mm-hmm. And if you don't feel safe with the person, buying through your conversations at dinner, lunch, breakfast, just the meetups, the hangout, let's hang out. If there's concealment of things, if your gut feelings telling you they're hiding things, I'm telling you, it ain't worth it to me. So again, using the discernment of what's happening here. If we can't get past certain honesty, it's going to be a bumpy road. And again, we want to prevent some of these things from unfolding as much as possible, rather than letting it happen midway. And then this is when people have invested into a place where they're living together, invested in a car together. When you start putting investment into a relationship, it's a little bit harder now to get out, because your mind's going to play all sorts of tricks, which is, I put in 2 years into this relationship, and now it's going to suck to get out, and I'm afraid to be judged by other people, and we will come up with all sorts of excuses to try to maintain the status quo.
Thank you. I pinned. Can you read that? Real Shima Yogi. She or he is asking, can we do this on Clubhouse so everyone, the audience, can collaborate? Can we do that are you on Clubhouse? I am on Clubhouse. I have my own club. So if you're into it, we can continue this topic on Clubhouse so we can hear everyone else's too. Or you can send me a join request, Han, and I would accept your request, and you can come up and you can talk to us now. So yeah, I also read someone else's comment. Pardon me, because I don't remember the name, but you said, yes, this is easy to say, but it's very hard to do every day. When I was responding to my dear Iris, that she said, how could we not feel small when we're living with a narcissist or dealing with a narcissist? And I said, if you and I could see that divine is the one who's playing that role, then the whole concept will be changing, right? So someone said, yes, we understand this, but it's easier to say than, okay, I understand. Let me tell you how I would go about it, right? First, there is knowledge. Some of us owned or have the knowledge. Some of us don't. Right? So let's suppose that you and I have the knowledge. We know that we are a particle, small part of universe. The divine is playing all these roles and all these characters, and everything is divinely planned and everything is soul contract. We know all that. Okay, great. Right now, I'm in the relationship dealing with a narcissist. Here is where the teaching comes to the next level, practice, right? So why do we say relationship, oh God? Because relationship, it's an upgrade. We can, like I said earlier, I said, you can spend years on your own, meditating, going to the silence, going to long retreat, drink ayahuasca, do mushrooms, do hallucinogenic all this time, and go up and down and all this thing. But until you live with someone under the same roof, that knowledge, all of that experience, is not going to be useful until you enter a relationship. So that's part one. Part two, now I'm dealing with a narcissist. The way I would go about it is that, first of all, I try, or I'm not even trying, I remind myself that I have to be conscious at every second I know I'm going to slip the majority of time, that I am conscious, I am aware when this narcissist is throwing this act. I'm not being reactive. I come from my heart. I'm being loving. I say, I see you. But the majority of time would be that I can't be conscious, and I become unaware, and I can't handle myself. I become reactive, and I get pulled into the game, right? What do we do at this point? The minute I realized, oops, I became unaware, I have to bring myself back to being aware and stop. So something that I do, and it really helped, guys, is that I slow myself in being reactive. And that really helps, because once we're going really fast and the arguments start, the minute the arguments start, there is a shift of energy. Have you noticed that? I mean, while we're sitting on the table, we're enjoying our meal and drinking our wine, it's a different type of energy. The minute the arguments start, the energy shift. And if you're not aware, you're going to get pulled into this negative chaos, argumental energy. What I have learned after all this year is that I try to, first of all, be mindful constantly, and I'm constantly slowing down myself. The minute I come to say something, I tell myself, no. This is the part that we do years of meditation. What is meditation about? A part of meditation is that you and I are empty of the thoughts, empty of past, and empty of anger, whatever our normal, I don't know, behaviors are, right? We become empty. The second thing in meditation is that we concentrate on our breath. We slow down our breathing during the meditation. The minute we slow down our breathing, our mind gets a message, there is no danger. I can also slow down. So the quick, fast pattern of the thoughts also become slower. Something else that we practice in meditation is that we don't jump with every urge that comes up, right? So on meditation, probably Ven can tell us more about this, is it's all about taming the ego mind. The minute I feel like I have to scratch my head, I don't. I stop that urge. The minute I become restless, that I have to move, I don't go with the urge. I say, not right now. And I calm and slow myself. This is one of the way that we tame the ego mind. Therefore, if you, this is, of course, this is not going to come in a bulk that I am awake. Oh my God, I'm awake and I'm going to stay awake every day. We're constantly going through awakening, deep sleep. I'm awake, I'm going back into deep sleep, right? But by practicing this day after day after day, don't be reactive, stop yourself, slow down yourself, take a deep breath, and don't go with the urge, whatever it is that is showing up. This will help you that when you're dealing with a narcissist, with whoever, it doesn't matter who it is or whatever we want to call it, we become in control. And this is the time when the narcissist is throwing tantrum, and I'm seeing quietly and calmly by my physical body. If I'm aware, I'm also aware of my physical body, right? Oftentimes we are so not so conscious to know that even my physical body is sending out a message of stress, anger, edginess. When we're aware, what is the first thing that we do? Tashi Dorji is saying, "Can I get a reading, please?" I don't do a reading, Lovey. I don't have a tarot card or anything, but you can come on. We're on Instagram. You can come on Instagram. You can come up and we can talk on. I do private coaching sessions, but right now it's a joint live, Lovey. Anyhow, so you see what I mean? By slowing down ourselves, by being aware in my something that I do, guys, maybe that would help you also. When I see someone is around me with negative energy or toxic energy, when I become aware of that, instead of paying attention to what they're saying or what kind of poisonous energy they're sending out, I separate myself from them and I become even more conscious, and I calm my body. I start calming my head, my forehead, my throat, my chest, my shoulder. By calming myself down, then I just mentally say, void the poison. Void the poison. They're jumping up and down and screaming and they're sending out all this gunk. I don't get involved with that. Because if you let yourself go, they won. They pull you into their toxic energy. But when you're aware, you separate yourself, you calm your body, you breathe. You still have eye contact, but you're just saying consciously, void the negative energy, void the psychic attack. Go ahead. Sometimes.
Someone says, how can we watch this live again? You guys can visit Sudi Burnett, Sudi_Burnett on Instagram, and you can visit all of her social media. She's very popular. And then some of these things are also available on my YouTube and Instagram. Yes. Also.
Are you uploading or join live on your YouTube also?
Yeah, everything. Right now in front of me, there is like 5 laptops. So the two Facebook accounts, TikTok, and everything. It's all, yeah, I'm very low tech. I wish you guys could see, only Instagram you can see Sudi's beautiful face right now. But every other social media, all you see is my boring face. So.
Yeah, I used to have, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm in Tulum, Mexico right now. I've been here for almost 40, I'm going to stay another 2 weeks. Anyway, I came to Tulum for 44 days. But right here, I don't have anything, no lightings, nothing. So I'm just going with the lighting from here. Generally, I'm very equipped in LA. I have a professional mics and lighting, and setting here is just nothing. Then, can you read this comment? Sometimes I feel the urge to stand up for myself. Would you like to respond to this?
Yeah, so the message says that, and it says, and do some justice to the things I call myself. So I'm not to stand up for myself and do some, it's a little confusing, but I'll answer it the best I can. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can stand up for yourself. The part of standing up for yourself is being assertive. Part of standing up for yourself is developing personal policies for yourself and standing by that. That's it. Boundaries, period. Okay. You have to try to inspire respect from your partner. There's always a power struggle. They're always trying to see, in relationship, people are going to push a button and try you. And once they have enough information about you, that's when they take advantage of you or cross boundaries. And you just have to say, and it starts in the very beginning of the relationship with the dates. the meetup times, the place, the when, the where, the how is when you say, yeah, no, yeah, I really appreciate you inviting me to your house, but this is the first date, so why don't we give it a little bit more time? And you just watch how they respond and react to that. And if they look like you just dropped a bombshell on them, then guess what? They're after what's inside of your pants, simply put. And if they were like, yeah, okay, I'll wait. And then if their actions and words are consistent and congruent, and it does not, you don't see a shift, especially in behavior and a shift in their emotional tone, that you realize that, oh, okay, well, he was cool about it. He obviously respects my boundaries and where I'm drawing the line. Because, you don't know if they got STDs or if you're going to sleep with a rapist, whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? So, again, the beginning of the relationship where you draw that, okay? So then about doing some justice, well, that's open to a lot of interpretations about doing justice. I mean, you're going to go back to your ex's house and throw eggs in their window, or, maybe going to shoot the window. So, again, when you feel that you need to do justice, you just remember that karma never forgets an address, and you should let karma take care of the rest.
Yes.
Versus... It's like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, when you want to do justice, it depends on what kind of justice that actually really is, and whether it treads the law book on violating certain elements of law, or stalking, or some of these weird things that people try to do to get back at each other. The best revenge in life is actually to live a better life. And so that's when Sudi started talking about meditation earlier, and which is exactly that. I mean, it is what it is. These are the true nature of reality of any relationship. That you have the ups, you have the downs. They will take advantage of you. They will blah blah blah. Just the good, the bad, the ugly. If you're 18 and over, and you willfully, knowingly, and intentionally got yourself into these relationships, and now it is what it is. So if I'm telling you the best way to get back at them, to live a better life, well, darn it, heed the advice of the wise, sit and learn to meditate. And the most basic sense for all of you is to practice on your breath, which is breathing in, I know I'm breathing in, breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. The 4 techniques that I teach on my YouTube. So I'm going to make you guys go to my YouTube and look up that video. Again, nowadays, I expect the student to do their diligent research, and not we make it. Sometimes we teachers make it a little too easy for you guys to access some of these things that you may never even practice. But you have to learn how to sit with the silence and sit with the discomfort about whatever it is that's going in your life.
And especially don't go with the urges. Stop the urges. Don't jump in with every urge. That was such a big lesson for me, because I have always been so hyper, and I always been so fast and quick and so reactive. So for me, that was a huge part of lesson to not to go with every urge. I want to eat now. I would jump in. I feel like I'm hot. I jump and take a cold shower. So this part is really helpful. But I'm going to come from a different angle for her question. She says, sometimes I feel the urge to stand up for myself and do some justice to the thing I call myself. What I'm getting is that you thinking what you're calling myself, you're talking about your higher self. But what I want to say, the one who is not standing for herself or himself, the one who is not setting up boundaries and standing up with boundaries, is the ego mind. So if you're saying myself, By myself, you mean your higher self? No, honey, your higher self is the whole knowing. Your higher self is not the one who is suffering. The higher self never suffer. The soul doesn't suffer. It's only in the ego mind that suffering being created and suffering being experienced. So don't confuse yourself with all these things. Because if you're going to say, oh, I want to respect my higher self, as I always say, guys, this is the way I see the soul. I'm always saying the soul is the little girl or boy, happy child who's sitting on a tree, eating his or her apple, having fun, twisting her legs. The wind is blowing and she's enjoying from up there. She's looking at everybody, the lizard, the snake, and she sees all of these things, but she's not involved in it. She's just enjoying herself. This is the meaning of the soul. The soul is playful. The soul knows that we came here to play. What makes it hard for us is when we falsely believe the ego mind. We get tricked by the ego mind. So the suffering comes from an ego mind, not from the soul. And I know you guys have heard different things, different religions or whatever. They might have a different meaning, but this is how I see it. Who is the one who's not having respect? Who is the one who's not setting firm boundaries and sticking to the firm boundaries? Is this creation is all from the ego mind. And I always say, guys, I say, the movie that you're seeing out here, as we call reality, this movie is already made. It's finished. How much power do you guys have while you're watching a movie? How much power do you have to change the script or change the character or to edit it? None, zero. If you want your reality to be different, if you want a different reality, you have to go to the mind where the whole creation of the false reality, the Maya, the illusion is being created. Is in that level that you can change it. But if your mind and ego is just making the movie, rerunning the movie day after day, you can't change this. This movie is already made up. You have to start with a new movie, new script. Where do you do that? The mind, the powerful mind who's writing the script with the help of his body, the ego. They're writing the script, they're finding the character, they're the casting agent, they're the directors, and they're the producer. Who are you? And where are you? Because while you're watching this movie, my question is, where are you in the movie? Nowhere. The movie is being created outside of you by the ego mind. And while that part is the one who's making the movie, you cannot make any changes. All of these law of attractions, blah, 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 is bunch of garbage. Because, oh, oops, I'm sorry. Because if you don't go to the part that the script is being written, you cannot change anything. So what do? In order for you to start writing a new script, at the beginning, you have to separate yourself from the machine, the thinking machine, the mind, the ego. But while you're the illusion that you are the mind and ego, that's what's being played. You can never change it. So first you have to wake up from this deep sleep. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. You're not the one who's feeling, and you are not your body. Everything is a creation of the mind. And until you get this and don't see yourself separated from it, nothing will really change in your reality. Back to you, Wintrow.
So I just wanted to go back to the meditation part. Is
Yes.
that when you guys do the meditation, is that it's a one point of concentration technique, and everything that Sudi's telling you, you will realize it by through meditation.
Yes.
Sitting in silence, that knee-jerk reaction to always respond to uncertainties. When we react to uncertainties, reacting to discomfort, reacting to the urges and the desires, right? Where it's been a habit. Again, we want to look at the habit and how to undo that habit. By undoing the habit is when you meditate. When you meditate, you just focus on the breath, just knowing when everything is slowed down, just the action and act of watching your breath. It takes a lot of time, like closing your eyes, and to just know that when air is coming into our tummy, air is escaping our tummy. The tummy is rising and the tummy is falling, right? The abdomen is rising, the abdomen is falling. Just that alone, you can see so much peace in that. Just that alone slows down your thought processes. Just that alone kind of just gives you some clarity. It will recenter. It will help you better focus, better concentrate on the task at hand. Try to fit meditation in for every hour. Why don't you do it for like 5 or 10 minutes? And slowly you increase and start to see the benefits. Listen, folks, if this stuff don't work, what I'm telling you don't work, because I'm obviously not sitting here trying to sell you something that don't work. I can't even sell anything at all. The only thing I can ask for is water. I can't even sell anything. So I wouldn't be here in robes. I've been meditating for 20 years. 20 years. It's going on. Is next year 21st? Maybe next year is 21 years of meditating. And so I have seen from direct experience the results from disciplining yourself to sit, finding the time to take care of yourself, mental hygiene, right? We take all these time to brush our teeth, go to the restroom and shower and all of this, but you don't really take care of your mind. And it is exactly your mind that causes you so much suffering, turmoil, and agitation. And what is peace? Peace is free from agitation, free from disturbing emotions, right? So let that sit, marinate for a little bit. And for all the efforts that Sudi is putting in, and for all the efforts that I'm sitting here putting in, and how we are telling you over and over again, one of the best way to honor Sudi and honor myself and other experienced, qualified, authentic teachers is taking your time to meditate. That's it. That's all the Buddha wants you to do. Sit, chill, relax, sit, breathe, enjoy. It's so simple. So just be like the Nike sign. Just do it. No excuses.
Just do it, guys. So let's get back to the Johnny Depp and Amber situation. When you're looking at both cases right now, what I see from it is everybody's involved in the story, the fake celebrity story. That is Johnny Depp a victim? Is Amber a monster? Or is she crying? Is her cry fake? And there are so many people who start getting into it, the body language, blah, 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 blah. And the way I'm looking at it, I'm saying, listen, these are two wounded child. Johnny Depp has been abused by his close family since he was a little kid. So is Amber. And now, instead of us looking at these two on a bigger lenses, we're getting fooled and involved with the story. It's not about the story. It's about us understanding that anybody who becomes a narcissist, anyone who plays the victim role, codependent, blah, 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 what's the story, the beginning of the 7 years of their childhood? Did they feel safe? Did they feel secure? Did they grow up in a family that it was functional? They were receiving love, compassion, freedom, or not? And obviously, this is what we need to look at. Every narcissist has a past childhood who has been wounded, and they never really truly got healed. Every codependent has been wounded because they experienced abandonment. If Johnny Depp didn't felt so abandoned in his childhood, he wouldn't be attracting a narcissist. So when I keep repeating myself, I said, guys, trust the divine plan. Everything is at the right time for each human, for each soul, just for us to learn the lesson. What is my lesson? My lesson is not how do I deal with a narcissist. The lesson is where and how was I wounded, and how could I go through the state of healing, properly healing. And then we were going to talk today about when the relationship has ended, how do we overcome the heartache? Let's now talk about this, guys. We all have this experience, right? We've been in a relationship, either he or she broke up, or either I broke up. Either way, there is no win-win in a breakup. So when we break up, even the one who's breaking up with you is being wounded. They feel a loss. So nobody wins in a breakup. Even if I break it, I'm the one who's breaking up with somebody else. Okay? So there is no win-win situation here. But how do we go about it? Let me start by what are the things that you shouldn't do? As soon as the breakup happens, you have that last conversation, or maybe the conversation has been going on for years, but you couldn't hear what they were telling you, that this is not working out for me. This is not working out for me. But oftentimes in our relationship, we feel so comfortable. Oh, I have him. He's going to be here forever. Or I have her. She's going to be here forever. We get comfortable in a relationship. And the minute you and I start getting comfortable in our relationship, we don't do the things that we used to do at the beginning of the relationship. Go back and look at the beginning of your relationship. Who were you at the beginning of the relationship? You were putting on makeup, you were showering for her, you were putting your perfume on, and you were being so nice and understanding and going to the restaurants, doing this or that together. You were a different person at the beginning of the relationship. And now that is breaking up, whether it's 3 months, 1 year, 10 years, who are you now? How have you changed? That's why in my webinar, I said one of the key questions that you can ask your partner is that, what were the things that I did for you at the beginning that I don't do them for you anymore? This is a key question. What was I doing at the beginning of the relationship that you loved, you feel nurtured, that I don't do it anymore? Who was I? What were the qualities that you fell in love with? Am I still that? And then probably when we're honest enough, he or she is going to tell us, at the beginning, you were this sweet, like bubbly, happy. You made me happy. You made me laugh at the beginning. Now you're this bitter. You expect so much from me. It's always, this is not good. That is not good. I'm not doing this. I'm doing that wrong. And there are more expectations and more wrong things. If you notice, when we're talking to our partner, we never tell them first the good things that they are doing that we love. We always start with the negative part. You never do this to me. You never did this to me. At the beginning, you used to do this, but now you're not doing this. You're not paying attention to me. You're not hearing me. You're not buying me flowers. You're not doing da. And he's going to say, yes, at the beginning, you were a different character. You were joyful, you were loving, we laughed together, we did to get things together. Now you turned out to this bitter bitch or whatever. You're not the same person that I met at the beginning. So it's very important you ask your partner, who was I at the beginning of the relationship? What qualities that you loved and you feel that I'm not that anymore? What were the things I used to do for you that you really love that are no longer doing it? Because at the beginning, we're giving so much services. Oh, honey, you want water? No, you should drink water with lemon. Oh, honey, you want this and that. And then eventually it cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts, right? Okay. So now you probably discuss it not one time, 10 times, and he or she is telling you, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. Be realistic. Because,
Sudi?
yes.
So we're already an hour and a half
in,
and I thought we were going to actually talk about the how getting over the toxic breakup. But if we could reserve this for the next talk, because it's, again, these talks are very deep and broad and profound, so it could take up a lot of time. And due to my wonderful schedule today, I'm not able to finish up this portion. But you all have something to look forward to. But again, you guys have a lot to reflect on. These talks, again, will do everyone justice if you guys go back to it and take notes. And I am starting to convince, that would be my timer.
Okay.
I'm starting to convince that Sudi is doing a wonderful, wonderful job at really ingraining everything into your mind. what you need to know about relationships and into the nitty gritty details into it. She has tremendous amount of patience when it comes to this. So again, you know what? Everywhere I go, after this book is done, in the future, I gotta drag Sudi with me. We gotta do world tours together. That's it comes down to that. I need you to sit and let them know what needs to be known and study what needs to be studied and practice what needs to be practiced. So I just wanted to give everyone this recommendation and advice in ahead. And then next week, maybe we can touch up on letting go, and we'll look at it from a Buddhist standpoint, and then we'll have Sudi talk a little bit more about it. But I unfortunately couldn't. I really want to stay, you guys. I really do. But I have stuff going on today. But an hour and a half is.
You are wonderful. Absolutely right. And I tell you what, I was just talking with my groups, and I told you I'm doing a retreat in Istanbul, Turkey, in summer. So I have to take you with me. The retreat is June 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. So get your team together. You're going to have to come with me. It's going to be 8 days retreat, guys, where we're going to detox and purify the mind, the emotional body, the physical body, and all that. So I know you got to go. I love you, and I see you next week. I'm just going to wrap up this part to answer Maria's question, and I'll see you next week, love.
Bye, everyone.
Love you. Bye-bye. Okay,
yeah,
Maria, love you. Thank you so much for being with me.
Bye.
Love and peace. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, Maria, I'm just going to respond back. Maria is on YouTube. By the way, guys, those of you who are here, don't go anywhere. I'm going to talk to you for another 10 or 15 minutes to give you some tips here. But also, I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So that's why I'm looking here and there. And then sometimes the question comes from YouTube. So let me wrap this up, and then I will respond. Maria, nothing is by accident or coincidence, honey. You're absolutely right. Everything is divinely planned. Whether I believe it or I don't believe it, it's just like to a second or millisecond, everything is divinely planned. So let me wrap up this part for you guys who are heartbroken, okay? And I'm going to continue the next part with my monk dear friend next week. Okay. So when this person is telling you it's over, first thing that happens, let's go through it step by step together. Okay. I'm hearing right now that someone that I had so much dream about, we were talking about our future. We're going to get married. Where are we going to live? We're going to have children and all that. All that dream kind of shattered. And is the ending. The very first moment, realize that you just got, it's just like a truck has hit you. You start aching everywhere, in your mental, in your emotional body, in your physical body. This is nothing to ignore. This is nothing to minimize. This is nothing to say, no, it didn't happen, it didn't happen, it didn't happen. It's crucial, crucial, crucial. You hear me, guys? Because if you kind of going to deny or say it didn't happen, or just try to push it away or rush it away, or listen to some expert that go out, have your friends, get on a different app, try different people. No, 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 no. You have to understand this is a major trauma. Ending a relationship is tragic. It's huge. So know that. And know that the most important part is for you to give yourself enough time to heal. And like I said earlier, healing is different for everyone. This is not a fast, quick process. This is not a process to get drunk and don't feel it. This is not a process that you use or abuse psychedelics or drugs or weed or smoke marijuana and not to feel. This is the part to feel. It's very painful, I know. But you have to sit in it. Let the feeling come. Don't push it away. Don't try to hide it. Sit in the painful feeling. The next step is, yes, I'm feeling this, but I am not the feeling. The anger, the betray, all of these are being experienced. And into that feeling, there are so many layers of different feelings. It's not just, oh, I just got dumped and it's just one feeling. Many feelings are mixed, feelings are contained in that feeling. The thing that I come to myself and I say, okay, these are the feeling, identifying the feelings. And then you have to kind of have a broader perspective of what's happening here. What is the broader perspective? What was the lesson that I learned here? What in me attracted this character, this personality, and this event? It's never about someone else. Never forget that. It's always about me. It's about my past. It's about my behaviors. It's about my wounds. We enter the relationship because knowingly or unknowingly, we were claimed, I'm ready for an upgrade. Think about this, guys. I'm ready to upgrade. When we get in a relationship that is so loving and passionate and so juicy and everything, don't get fooled by the story. Know that you have announced to the universe, I'm ready. I have done the work. I start knowing myself. I did years of meditation and yoga and that stuff. I'm ready for an upgrade. So be proud of yourself that you are in a position to upgrading to a higher consciousness, right? And once you do that, the heartbreak, the role that the character is playing, see it as the divine, whoever that character is, he or she. And the divine is there playing that role as the character to help you continue with your soul surging and your soul upgrade. This is the real story. What was the lesson? What did I learn? What in me attracted me? And then at the end, one thing left to do. How can I love myself more? How can I heal? Not from this situation, but everything that happened in my childhood. In my first 7 years, what were my wounds? How can I heal? I can't rush this. It's going to take a long, long time, but it's worth it. Because if I heal my childhood wound, forgiveness is automatic. Love is automatic. Self-love is automatic. Okay? So I'm going to end this. We're going to be doing a lot more talk about relationship and ending. Next week, we're going to be doing another live, and we're going to talk with Wen Try to see if we can get him on my clubhouse so you guys can talk and we can hear you, and we go from there. Thank you so much for being here. Love and peace. Love you all from the bottom of my heart, sending everyone love and healing. Bye bye till next Thursday. Have a beautiful